Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pod Maverick After Dark. I'm Kirk Henderson, joined as always by Josh Bowe. We're talking to you. It's about 10:30 on, God, I guess today's Monday, October 13th. I have no idea. The fact that I don't know what day it is really speaks to my life at the moment, but that's fine. The Dallas Mavericks just beat the Utah Jazz 114 to 101. Josh, how are you?
I'm pretty good, but preseason doesn't matter, so we could just end the show and go do something else because that was a great win. It's a shame it doesn't matter, right? Like, I wish.
When did we roll reversal? Like, I need someone. I need someone to.
I wish we could talk about that game, but sadly it got instantly vaporized from all of our brains, like the Men in Black device. I went to the NBA.com box score. It says game doesn't exist, didn't count. And I'm like, oh funny, man,
we way over
that sucks.
We just, you and I both, and everyone, we all over index the people on social media that take the time to engage with us. And sometimes we just, and this is a we, because I'm much worse about it than you are, but I'll just, well, let's just get out of the way real quick. What I've learned is the past several days is there's a decent sized cohort of fans who think that any sort of criticism of this current team is still somehow Luka Doncic adjacent and Nico Harrison adjacent, where it's like you're really bitching about, AD because of yada yada. It's like, no, I'm bitching about AD because for the first, last game he didn't look that good, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And tonight we had
he looked better.
He looked better and
looked good.
And why he looked better is just so elemental. And
he played harder.
Well, yeah, he did play harder. That's true. But I also think the fact that
there's other stuff.
There's just other stuff. And so this game was a riot in that. So D'Angelo Russell didn't play. So when D'Angelo Russell doesn't play, that sort of sets off like DEFCON alarms in my brain where I'm like, oh no, what's going to happen? And Mark Stein tweeted out that they're basically going with the jumbo lineup of my fever dreams of basically what
Sickos lineup.
Yeah, I mean, kids said this is going to happen in the summer, and like I just am cracking up that they actually did it. And so the lineup, for anybody that missed it, and I kind of hope you did miss it, because anybody that's watching preseason basketball is my kind of sicko, but I also just wish for better than everyone in my life. So Klay Thompson, Cooper Flagg, and Flagg was ostensibly the point guard. Then PJ Washington, Anthony Davis, Derek Lively. I mean, just so fucking big that it's really funny. And the Jazz have huge players themselves, but didn't really try to match size for size. But it was so big that the game, like the Jazz didn't know what to do. Like there was some goofy stuff happening in that first 6 minutes of action.
What, Klay is the shortest person in that lineup for Dallas?
6'7".
I like it. That was fun. That's what the preseason is all about to me. Like I was excited. Like, yeah, let's try this stuff. And they're gonna have to do this with Cooper throughout the season. They probably aren't going to do it in a regular season game in terms of maybe starting unless there's some injuries or something changes, but they gotta try it. Like he needs these reps.
Did it work?
Kinda. He didn't shoot the ball terribly well, but he also had 0 turnovers. He only had 1 assist, but he was positive in his minutes. I thought he was aggressive. I think he just shot a lot. He shot a lot of jumpers, and he's 1 of 6 from 3. So 5 of his 10 misses were from.
Oh, I mean, the Mavs at one point were 6 of 34 from 3. Like,
yeah, they're not going to shoot threes. That's okay, but that's fine. Like we knew that going in, and it was about.
The box score doesn't make it. Like the box score tells almost zero story of what happened in this game. It's why I hope people are not just box score watching and you're listening to different shows if you're interested as to what happened. So it's like for the first 6 minutes, the Mavs try this jumbo lineup. And I want to say that defensively it worked. Offensively, it was an absolute abomination. And that said, I want to see more. Like if you're going to do this, like let's commit to the bit. Let's get gross. Let's get the reps. Let's get the game tape. And and analyze it. And speaking of game tape, shout out to the Mavs broadcast crew for talking about how the Mavs did have a long film session after that.
That was the radio.
The radio guys.
Yeah, so I listened, and this is why I'm kind of ranty to start the show. Is everyone, we talked about how Mavs played bad. Now, I don't think in our podcast, I don't think we said that game was going to be indicative of the regular season, or everyone needs to freak out, or everyone needs to worry. We just said, hey, they played bad. They need to play better, even if it's just the preseason.
I didn't even think they played that bad. It was just like, this is ugly.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Anthony Davis's effort level was not great, and that's okay to say because it wasn't me saying he.
But they addressed it. They addressed it on the which broad
both broadcasts kind of like, so the radio broadcast was like, they had I think Brian Damaris, the color commentary was like, yeah, I think I was resting up yesterday, but I think the team was having a long film session, and Chuck Cooperstein was like, yeah, they kind of got embarrassed. And then even the TV broadcast was like, yeah, that game was not good. And it's like, guys, if you want to quarrel about talking about that game against the Hornets, like if the team broadcasters are talking about how that game was kind of a dispiriting or kind of quasi embarrassing, whatever level of disappointment you want to put on that game, if they're saying it, like, then it's okay to say it. Like, if they're going to say it, then we should be okay being able to say it. And I think fans should be okay with admitting it. That was a bad game. And I think it went beyond, oh, well, it's preseason, it doesn't matter. It was more like you said, sloppiness and effort level, jogging back on defense, not being intensive, that kind of stuff, where it's like, if you're playing hard and you're missing shots, or you're kind of running into each other, or you're getting turnovers because you're trying to do stuff, like, okay, you get it. But if you're losing preseason games because you're jogging back on defense, you're not talking, you're practicing bad habits, that could, you don't want that to leak into the regular season, no matter how much you want the preseason to not matter. So that was more the thing I wanted to talk, address about that game. I didn't think that Hornets loss meant the Mavericks season was doomed. It was just, that was a bad game. They should play better. And they came out and they it didn't look great, but they were trying harder, and they were moving, they were talking, and their intensity was different. And if the preseason doesn't matter, that they were trying harder. So if the preseason doesn't matter, why were they trying so much harder than they were against the Hornets? Like, these things matter. Like, if they're going to play the games, they need, the wins and losses don't matter, but the reps matter. Like, you got to get ready for the season. Yeah.
And we're going to have to talk about what we're seeing. I want to probably, we're going to do like a player preview pod with probably the 4 to 5 other guys that we think are going to be rotation guys. And then I think we should maybe do a podcast before the season kicks off about some big picture themes and things we're thinking about, because we dip into it in these games, but I don't think we're necessarily, I don't want to spend enough. Like, I don't want to just like really go broad when we're talking about specifics, but when you watch these sort of microcosms, these 6-minute bursts of what were, different lineups, you don't want to overemphasize what you're seeing, but you do. It is reasonable to draw some conclusions away, good or bad, or things that you want to see the Mavericks improve upon. So it's like these first 6 minutes with the jumbo lineup, I just want to see more of it, because I don't think it failed. It was just hilarious, because it's like it's 4 forwards and a shooting guard is what it is, or 4 bigs and a shooting guard. And I was talking with a guy I follow on Twitter, Knife Talk Mavs, and he just mentioned to me how frustrating it was to him that like PJ and some of these guys on the roster in nights like tonight are getting sort of strained beyond what he's worried that during the season that some of these guys are going to get strained beyond what their skill capacities are. Like, you don't want PJ handling the rock a ton, for example, but necessity is going to dictate some of this, because the Mavericks just don't have the skill sets. Like, it's what I've been talking about all summer long. And so when you see it in action, sometimes it's like, I'm not particularly surprised by any of this. It's ugly in a way that I find fascinating. And there's just going to be games where they beat the tar off of teams, because they're just, the Mavericks shot, how many? They shot 32 free throws tonight. They shot 30 against the Thunder. They're just going to bludgeon a team to death.
Yes.
I think it was Dalton Trigg who sent me like some Pokemon thing where it's like, "Hi, we're the Mavericks. We're here to beat you to death."
Yeah,
And
congratulations. We're going to beat the shit out of you or whatever, that Pokemon meme. Yeah.
and like that's just sort of what we're gonna see. And during those first 6 minutes, like you go to the Anthony, like let's just, and this is not picking on Anthony Davis, but he's the best player and he's the on the roster, and he's going to be the guy that we kind of hyper focus on because he's the best player. That's just the way this thing works. And early in the game, he takes a couple, like he's getting the ball 20 feet from the basket. And if he's facing up at the top of the key, I actually am okay with that. But I don't like things wing post ups right near the break because it means that he has to dribble 2 to 3 times to get anywhere. I want, and this is me being overly simplistic, but for somebody with his skill set, and frankly, you see this in the NBA data, the more somebody dribbles the ball, the less likely they are to make a damn shot. Like you can just see this in a lot of the data. And if he's having to make, it's 1989, we're making a spin post move, doing all this stuff to get to the bat, he's not going to score. He's going to take a fadeaway, or he's going to do something that I hate. And yes, he did get to the line tonight, which was quite nice. But as the game wore on, they moved him from 4 to 5, and then the Mavericks effectively broke the game open, and the Jazz were not able to compete. Like that was the difference.
Yep. And I'm not even a big pound in my chest. AD has to always play the 5 because I concede that. Look, this guy can't get through seasons healthy. It's documented. We don't need to beat that dead horse into the ground. If him playing the 4 for 50 to 60% of his minutes this season is what helps keep him on the floor for 65 to 70 games, like if that's what he needs, because he did get hurt a lot when he was with the Lakers, and he played a lot of 5 with the Lakers after they won that championship season, and that's where he had a lot of injuries with his time with the Lakers was after that 2020 season, because the 2020 season he played about regular season, he was about 60-40 4-5. So like, look, if him playing 5 full time is what gets him into these injury trouble, then sure, do what you got to do to keep him on the floor. I get it. He needs some possessions where he's not, wrestling another 280 pounder, for a rebounding position. And that can help the wear and tear on his body. Like I concede that, cause I know years ago, and I was with everyone else. I was like, oh, why is he even playing the 4 at all? Like he should just play the 5 all the time. It's kind of like that conversation we had last time where this isn't 2K. You can't just spam the best play every single possession, even if you think that's what works. Like that's just not how human nature is. That's just not how it works. Like you can't just run the exact same play every single time. So like I get it, but on the other flip side, like they still have to play him at the 5. Like they can't not play him. And these were the first preseason minutes he played at the 5. And I just thought it was funny that when they finally did it, they immediately 13-0 run, like instantly. And
that's the difference. And it's
just funny.
It's just very frustrating because it's so obvious and they're just not going to do it. Like they're going to struggle bust this on purpose. Like this is a good comment. Raymond in the chat says not sold on the offense through Anthony Davis. And like, neither am I.
They haven't been creative enough in the preseason. They're not as much as the regular, like the small sample from the regular season last season was better than what we're seeing in the preseason in terms of them doing stuff. Like we're seeing a lot of him just catching the ball and trying to score. We're not seeing a lot of Hub running the offense through him as a dribble handoff hub. We're not seeing him run a ton of pick and rolls. We're not seeing them kind of utilize his passing. Like we know he's a good passer. So again, maybe that's more. I wonder if this preseason for Anthony Davis is about them like saying, hey, AD, just do what you got to do to get in shape. Like, let's just get you into shape. We don't need to do anything fancy. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. So maybe that's it. And maybe the regular season kicks off, they'll start doing more of the cooler stuff that they did last season. So like, it exists because they did it last season. Like I wrote about it. We talked about it. So, I'm not sure, but I love your point about where he catches the ball. Cause that happened tonight. Most of his paint scores, I feel like he was catching elbow, block. He catches, pivots, first step, and he's gone. And he's at the paint.
There's no chance to knock him off balance. He
scored well in the paint tonight too.
Look, yeah. I mean, he 8 of 14 from the floor is great with 7 free throws. Now,
yeah,
we just have to admit that like destroying the corpse of Kevin Love and Yusuf Nurkic is not anything to write home about. Like the Jazz are one of the worst teams in the NBA and like actually probably will be for the foreseeable future, this season at least. But I don't care. Like tonight I was more interested in the process.
Yeah, right.
And the process was pretty solid. It's a little thing, but it's just I don't know. One dribble decisive stuff with Anthony Davis is so much more effective than him dipsy doing and like getting it facing up, dribbling twice. I just don't. He gets knocked off balance a lot because he's a tall guy. I don't know. I will be pretty critical of AD this year just because he's the most important player and everything kind of relies on him with what they're going to be doing. But it's largely because we've seen it before and the Mavericks need to sort of put him in the position to succeed. Like this is less a comment. This is not a comment about AD at all, but I felt a lot of the offensive process in throughout the first half was pretty ugly. Like these Mavericks can score in transition. They're going to get the rebound. They're going to score. But this half court stuff, this handoff offense, they need to tighten the fuck up. If you're I'm trying to think how to describe this without like the visual, but if you're doing a dribble handoff and you're sort of sensibly turning into like a screener as you're handing off the ball, or even if you're like doing a little bit of like a soft pitch as the guy's coming towards you, there can't be 4 feet between you and the guy for a defender to get through. Or if the defender's dropping under you, you're just running around for cardio's sake. And that's kind of what drove me nuts, where it's like, it's ball movement for the sake of ball movement without enough intentionality to get the ball somewhere where guys can score. And just watching some of these possessions that ended up with like bricklaying threes were really gross. I know that's what we signed up for, but that's a skepticism that I'm going to bring with, until the Mavericks prove me wrong. I mean, yes, the Mavericks scored 114 points. The Jazz in the previous 2 preseason games had given up 137. Like, this is not a team that's particularly hard to score on, and the Mavericks just didn't do a great job of it.
Yeah, I mean, the Mavericks shot 39% overall, 28% from 3. I mean, this is kind of how they're going to win games, though. Like, they're gonna win by 10 points and shoot 41% from the floor. Like, they're gonna have nights like that where they're just gonna have to be bigger, and they just win because they're bigger and they're more talented. Even if the process it doesn't lead to the exact results you want. I'm wondering what are we at? We're at 18
minutes.
We're at half,
and I want to take a break here, and I actually wanted to note something. So, first of all, we're gonna go cut to our commercials real quick, but I wanted to shout out listener Michael Rowe. He sent us he tipped us pretty well on the PayPal link that is in the comments and up there posted in the at the bottom of the show notes, that sort of thing. That's going to be the best way that you guys can support us. Of course, if it's easier for you to make super chat contributions, those sorts of things get noticed. We do appreciate it. YouTube just takes a pretty healthy cut off the top. We're going to go to the ads real quick, and then we'll be right back. So thanks so much for hanging out with us. All right. If you guys are new to the show in any way, shape, or form, please subscribe. We go early and often. We record a lot during the season. During the off season, we really aren't as good at recording as we ought to be, but that's neither here nor there. I am also trying to host regular after shows that you can come up and just join, like you're joining a work Zoom, and participate in the show, talk about the things that you want to see, things that you're happy with, things you're concerned with. One of the things that I have sort of built this show on with Josh is feedback within our audience. Like, I don't ignore the feedback that we get. Sometimes I lose my patience a little bit with it certain points of the day, but that's just human nature. But I mean, we're all here to talk basketball and enjoy the team, or in some cases not enjoy the team, but we want you to hang out with us. So I'm going to try to do another one tonight. Not sure if we'll have many folks, because again, preseason basketball, if you're not watching, I don't blame you. But all right, so what else should we cover before we get out of Dodge here?
I think 2 things. I want to hit on one thing, and then we can hit on like end of bench guy stuff that we like. But is PJ Washington, like, he's going to come off the bench presumably? I don't think that this lineup tonight was a shift. I think it was more of an experiment, but we'll see. But like seeing PJ with the starters, and I know the Mavericks didn't get off to like a hot start, but they just looked better from like an intensity, like an engagement, like, and their give a shit factor. Cause I think PJ is one of those guys that gives a shit a lot. Which is kind of funny when you think about like his reputation that when he was coming out of Charlotte, but that might be a nature versus nurture basketball conversation there. But is PJ too good and too important to this team to come off the bench? I'm just kind of asking you that.
I think so, but I also think that's what he's going to do. Okay. The question that is bopping around in my brain that's PJ adjacent is: do you maximize Cooper PJ minutes, or do you? And this is going to be a season-long question, I think. Or do you never have a moment where PJ or Cooper isn't on the floor?
Yeah,
that's those two work so well together defensively, the switchability, yes. And that's really dangerous for opposing teams. But then when they're not on the floor, it's like, oh, well, not so great. Because they're great defenders. Like that's not a criticism of the rest of the team. It's like things drop.
Yeah, I think they're the two best wing defenders on the team. Like that's not even a debate, because Anthony Davis is a great defender, but he is more of a big man defender at this stage of his career.
I think to answer your question specifically, though, is if you build in a lot of people that I think follow this team closely are just sort of mentally building in Anthony Davis playing like 57 to 65 games. Like that's the hope. I mean, I would hope he plays more, but I think that's probably a good baseline based on his history.
Fair expectation. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're roughly thinking 20 games of somebody else going to have to start. And if that's the case, and just knowing how injuries work within basketball, I think you end up getting like 35 PJ starts this year, just due to the math. And I'm going to be curious to see how the team does in those starts versus other people.
Yeah. Maybe I'm biased. I do like PJ, because I've been following, I was banging the drum for him before the Mavericks even traded for him. Again, and you look at his box score, you're like, Josh, what are you talking about? He had 6 points and 6 rebounds in 23 minutes, but there's just something he brings when he's on the floor, like his intensity, his athleticism, his ability to be a rim protector from a perimeter player, I think is so crucial, especially to what the Mavericks want to do defensively. Like being able to have someone that can rotate on your back line with PJ and not feel like you're losing rim protection. Like if your center or your rim protector has to switch, has to hedge, has to go guard at the level of the screen, or gets pulled away from the rim for whatever reason, having PJ as your rotating weak side shot blocker to help. Like, I feel like that's such an enormous advantage for the Mavs defensively compared to like what other teams have in that situation, in that position. Obviously some teams, like the last year's Indiana Pacers had Miles Turner and Pascal Siakam, and the Oklahoma City Thunder have their gaggle of tremendous athletic forwards. But like for the Mavs, it just, when he's not on the floor, I don't know, what's the Simpsons Poochie, where's Poochie, or am I butchering that reference? Like when he's not on the floor, I want him to be on the floor. Yes. Like he just feels that important to what the Mavericks want to do. So
I think that's a fair assessment. Okay. This box score I just keep laughing at it because the halftime score versus the final score is just so wild. Like the Mavericks I bet the Mavericks don't take 53. They took 53 3-pointers.
I think the broadcast said Kidd said in his pregame availability that he wanted 53 attempts tonight.
What?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Because I think he said they were not happy with the ratio of threes to middies.
Wait.
Something like that. Yeah.
How? You can't build a team with all forwards that can't shoot and be like, well, we can't shoot. What are we doing?
Yeah, well, he wanted more threes and they got more threes. Like I think that was an emphasized point.
Threes. Well, and I think, okay, so before I think everyone is so sick of poor Jaden Hardy.
Let's not even, do we even need to talk about him? We're talking
about a little bit. I think we got to. He's on the team, guys. There's some of these guys. there's some of these guys in the roster that I can tell our fan base is already like never again, and it's like they're under guaranteed contracts. They're part of the team.
I know.
Well, what other end of bench guys do you want to talk about?
I'm still a Cisse man. Two more blocks in 11 minutes. I love this guy. I want him on the team. They have one more two-way spot left. I don't think it is responsible to use your last two-way slot on another center when you have 85,000 centers.
And yet,
but yeah, I know. It'll probably go, if I'm a betting man, probably Jeremiah Robinson Earl. Well, no, I don't think Robinson Earl qualifies for a two-way. He's too
Miles
old.
Kelly already under a two-way contract.
It's Miles and Ryan Nimhard, and I think you can have a third now.
A third one.
And so, yeah, actually, Dennis Smith doesn't qualify. He's been in the league too long, and Robinson Earl has been in the league too long. I don't think you can be on it when you've played for 4 years already, which Robinson Earl did. But Robinson Earl, he's
pretty good.
I think he's an NBA player.
He's a byproduct of the Thunder just having a gorillion picks and just a good team. And so it's like, well, somebody's got to go.
Like he should. I'm not saying this is like a stud, but like last season he played almost 20 minutes a night, shot respectable percentages from the floor. He's pretty versatile size wise. Like he's relatively skilled. Like I don't know. Like he would be. I don't think they can keep him. Like I don't think they could keep him unless they cut someone. So really,
I don't think they can cut anybody.
No, really, I mean, they could cut Brandon Williams if they wanted to, but I wouldn't do that. But if he can't play, then they need someone that can play.
Yeah.
The Exum thing kind of stinks. Like if they didn't have Exum's contract, they could sign. Like, would you rather have Don? This is going to sound stupid.
Don't understand why they did it. Why would you sign someone into a deal if you don't have to?
Would you rather have Dante Exum or Robinson Earl?
I would rather have Robinson Earl.
Okay.
The best ability is the availability.
And yeah, no,
he just can't play. I'm not interested. Like think about how bad, like how weird, like the Dallas Mavericks with they almost had to have an injury exception player. They were so down. Like I don't know. I know. Shout out to Miles Kelly for getting up 12 shots in 12 minutes.
He was awesome.
Magical.
I like him. Nimhard was great. 12 assists.
Now, so Nimhard's an interesting one. I've been really down on him just because, again, it has nothing to do with his offense. It's the fact that he is a smaller person. And you saw it when the Jazz attacked him. They spread the floor and they're like, we're going to get on this guy's hip and we're going to go to the basket. But the moving of the ball, the vision, pretty freaking amazing. I mean, 12 assists in 26 minutes is even in for a preseason. That's nuts.
Yeah, and I think he had one turnover.
Yeah,
no turn. What do you have?
14.
One turnover.
No, that's a plus minus. Yeah, well, only one turnover. Good gracious.
Yeah, so he's fun. I mean, he's in that two-way. Him and Kelly are in the two-way slot, so I think they can get one more, and they can't sign Smith to it. They can't sign Robinson Earl to it. I mean, the only guy that played tonight that was eligible for it, I think, was Cisse. So it might be Cisse because who else is going to get it? But I like Cisse. He's fun.
Well,
I want him around.
And it's good to like guys like this. While we're just sort of talking about random stuff, shout out to Jazz forward Taylor Hendricks for playing. The last time anyone saw him, he was playing against the Mavericks and had the kind of injury to where they cut away and didn't show it again. So congratulations to him for getting himself back out on the floor. Man, the Jazz are weird. Ace Bailey with a quiet night there. Walter Clayton Jr., another player with a quiet night. He was a guy that lots of Mavs fans were very, very into. I
was happy to see Taylor Hendricks have a productive game.
Yeah,
he was my favorite prospect in that 2023 draft. He was the one I wanted the Mavericks to get with that Lively pick if he dropped. And I think he had that really awful ankle leg
against the Mavs.
So I'm glad to see him moving around. I hope he has a good career because he's super talented.
Yeah. Well, I kind of think that's that. I'm going to try to host a secondary show and see if anybody wants to join. I have a sneaky feeling that may not happen, in which case I'll have to edit myself out of my own podcast, which is always awkward, but it's a fun way to spend the night. Trying to think if there's like anything else, because there was one more topic that was like on the tip of my tongue, and I just can't remember what it was at this point. I know. So the Mavericks play Thursday against Los Angeles in Las Vegas. If Josh and I may skip that one. Number one, it's late. 9 p.m. start time for a preseason game is mean to us old fogies, even though we're up anyways. It's just a matter of working. And then I'm gonna really hope that Kid kind of lets us know who's playing and who's not, because the Lakers have played like Ayton. Like that's the only person who's played. You know, Luka hasn't played. LeBron has sciatica. It's every year there are fewer and fewer preseason games because it's like why do we want to get hurt? You know, kind of thing.
Right.
So we'll see.
Yeah, if that's a punt preseason game, there might not be a point to us.
That's right. We might. I'm pretty sure we're going to record something. We might just not record about that game. Because I think that would, I don't know. We somehow got 30 minutes out of this, but that's just because it was almost a reactionary game to Anthony Davis's.
Instead of staying up till midnight to record a preseason post-game show, we could record from like 7 to 8 and do like a season preview or something.
That's right.
Maybe that makes more sense.
Well, I mean, I want to talk about the other guys kind of more at length, because we did 5 and I got some questions like, why didn't you talk about Cooper Flagg? And I was like, honestly, I wanted to see Cooper play some more. I have a lot of thoughts about him. I mean, who our number one commenter? Where did she go? Is she still in here? Gosh, I'm looking for her name now in the thing. But Tanya, she commented, which she's like Flagg's turnovers really concerned me, and that was from the last game, and he did fine again. Like it's like his ball control is actually kind of amazing. In an underrated element of his play, it's like Victor Wembanyama turns the ball over like prime Russell Westbrook, and I'm
Cooper seems to be, he's really smart about, I feel like he's aware of what he's limited at, and he knows what he's good at. And I feel like he knows, I think he knows he doesn't have the best handle, and you can watch how he takes care of the ball. He's not trying to do crossover dribble move. He's not trying to do crazy dribble moves. He's just using his frame, his strength to kind of like back down guys full court.
Right. Well, and
that's all you need to do, to protect the ball. Like you don't need to have a fancy dribble move when you're as strong as hell and you got a wide base. Like just put your butt into someone and go.
You're hitting on why I think maybe we should do a bit of a preview, like maybe two more preview pods before the season starts, because it's like the Mavs play this game and then they don't play again until I can't even remember, but it's they play against the Spurs, I think, almost a week later. So we have time to talk about some of these things, and I think we'll do so. So thank you so much for hanging out. I'm gonna kick it in here just for kick it. How old am I? I'm 41. What is wrong with me? I just hang out a little bit more and see if anybody else wants to talk, give takes, argue with me. It doesn't matter. And hang out for that one. And if you don't see anything in your feed, guys, it's just because there wasn't anything to talk about. Everyone be good, and we will talk with you soon. Go Mavs. Welcome back to Pod Maverick After Dark. This is officially a Mavs party. I need to find the right layout so we can actually, there we go, Mavs party. This is hard when I'm my own producer. I'm Kirk Henderson. You are joining Pod Maverick's secondary after show, which is powered by any Mavs fan that wants to come talk Shop with me. Already got Brian waiting in the chat, but I just want to encourage anyone listening. It's really easy to do and it's fun, and we should talk about these things. So Brian, actually, if you don't mind waiting, we got Zach joining. I'm going to bring up Zach first. Zach, how you doing, man?
What's going on, Kirk?
I am shockingly awake for how long I have been up today. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Just wanted to get on here and say a few things. I only watched the first half of the game, but
That's the correct choice.
yeah, it was pretty slow, man. I was like, dang, only 50 points at halftime. And yeah, man. But every time I looked up, man, Hardy was like making like a bad play or like turn the ball over. I'm like, dang, he might be like this year's Tim Hardaway Jr., where like he's gonna do a lot of bad stuff, but like we just need sheer volume and shooting, and he's gonna do that, you know?
I do, and it's hard to put a value on confidence because you just really do. I think sometimes we take this for granted, but you need people to take shots, and
Yeah.
his unflinching willingness to take shots within a possession. I mean, really, sometimes I don't necessarily think his shots are bad; they're just not really going down. But he ended the third quarter tonight with a couple of threes. Like things finally started going for him, and he's just such a confidence guy. Like I bet he'd be fun to gamble with, just because like if things are on a hot streak, he's really rare to go.
Man,
I don't know. He's a tough one.
He is, man. I often just think to myself, like, what can we get for Daniel Gafford and Jaden Hardy? And if I just throw that in the trade machine, But
well, Gafford's an interesting one because Gafford, I think, becomes a commodity as the season goes on. He's probably the only player on the roster we can really trade.
Yeah. Which I would like to flip him for a point guard. I mean, Powell is looking good. I know and Noah CK, what's his name? Yeah, he looks pretty good. But yeah, man, that offense was tough. I think we're gonna need Kyrie more than we think. We need an engine, man. We need like somebody who can just get buckets.
It's been one of those things that I'm trying not to. I tried all summer not to bitch about this because no one wants to hear me complain. But I think that in Dallas during my time as a Mavericks fan, there has been one other year when Dallas didn't have somebody that I felt could effectively run the offense. It was the first year after Steve Nash left where they sort of forced Jason Terry to play point guard when he came over from Atlanta. And basketball is obviously different. It's 20 years ago. But right now, and D'Angelo Russell's going to be fine, but he's the only one. And it's like if he was the secondary to Kyrie, I think I'd feel a lot better about all this. And I hate the pressure on being on Kyrie to come back. I hate that because I think if it's sloppy, that's kind of going to be one of the things that we lean into. Do you know what I mean? It's the hope. One of the probably a top one. I can't think of any better ball handlers than him. Like he's so good at it. And when the Mavs don't have the ball handling, it's so ugly. It's so ugly.
It's true, and that's why I come back to this trade thing because it's like I'm looking around at the point guard room, Dante Exum in and out. Why didn't Dennis Smith play tonight? I don't even know.
I think they must have probably already made a decision on Dennis. I have a sneaky feeling now that it's been 3 games that they brought Dennis in as a bit of a favor to Dennis because they've worked him out several times the past few years. And he had worked his way back into the league, and then after that last year with the Nets, he wasn't in the NBA at all. I think it's a matter of his time has come and gone. It makes me sad. It makes me sad. He played. You said you didn't see the second half. He did play 8 minutes, but he didn't do anything. So.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to get in that trade machine, man, because Brandon Williams, Dante Exum hurt, DSJ not playing, and like you said before, I don't want to have to need Kyrie. I don't want to be like, "Come back, Kyrie, come back. We need you." I want him to be a compliment to everything that's already going on, and so Yeah, we're gonna have to make some moves. I'm sure. Like I would bet on it that come trade deadline, we're gonna make a move this year.
Well, they've done so for 8 years in a row. They've made a trade. I didn't realize it was quite that ridiculous until I saw some of the. It's like, do you remember when we traded for JJ Redick and he just died? Like he never actually played.
Yeah.
It's like when you count those sorts of things, it absolutely did happen. So it's tough, and this is where I don't like being a basketball fan in this era, because you also have to be both a Mavs fan and an accountant. And Dallas is sitting right underneath that heinous second apron, which if you go over it, and this is why I don't think they can cut anyone, you lose all flexibility. So I do think they try something though, because that Daniel Gafford deal got signed with his understanding that he could be traded. Like that, you don't do that deal without bringing in the player and letting him know. But it's a long season, and he's a very valuable big. He's a little bit limited, but I really enjoy what he does bring. He brings a different energy than Derek Lively, and it's him, Davis, and Lively are. They're three centers, and I just don't think you need that much tied up into one position.
Agreed. Well, man, I'm gonna get off of here. I just wanted to say a few things. I'll be back on the next show, man. But y'all keep doing what you're doing.
Basketball to talk about. We're very close. Like the Spurs game is right around the corner, and we're gonna get to slander the Spurs in a week in like a week and a half. I can't wait.
I can't wait, man. I can't wait. But yeah, good talking to you, Kurt.
You too. Thanks for joining. Talk soon. All right, coming up next is Brian. Hello.
Yo.
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm trying to shake off the second half of that game.
See, I kind of had it up, and I was doing work at my day job, and I didn't pay a ton of attention to it. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I was bouncing around by midway through the third quarter into some other things, but every time I check back in, I go, what's funny? Dennis actually did play.
Yes,
he was playing in the fourth and like the end of the third quarter with the end of bench bumps. So he was there. He's alive. So things that I liked. Cooper Flag. Rancid shooting percentage, absolutely awful. But he had no turnovers in like 4 stocks.
Yes,
that's cool.
Now
they kind of lied when they said we'll be playing him at point guard. No, they weren't. There was a whole lot of Anthony Davis and PJ Washington bringing up the ball. Hence why PJ had 3 turnovers when he, normally would never have the ball that much.
Right.
But yeah, no, that's that is what it is. You know what I mean? Ryan Nembhard obviously had 12 assists. Most of it was in garbage time or whatever, but hey, that's when he came into the game. Well, no, actually, he had like 3 or 4 where he created pretty easy buckets for guys when we still actually kind of had our guys in there.
Right.
Same to Jazz. So, again, Nembhard is interesting. I wish he was just like 2 inches taller, because that dude is so small. If he was 2 inches taller or could shoot reliably or both, he'd just be on the roster.
Yes.
But as things stand, it was just more so a nice flash. It's unfortunate Ace Bailey, he left the game with some kind of knee soreness, I think they said. So we didn't really get to see him for very long either. But AD looked much better, at least as far as scoring efficiency, because he was staying closer to the paint. There were some really far out catches where he was catching the ball 25 feet from the basket. And as expected, those plays led to nothing. But when he was catching the ball inside the free throw line, things looked fine.
Yeah. No, it's just such a big difference. And it's hopefully they just, I remember this old story way back when like analytics were first sort of coming onto the scene, was Chris Bosh willingly accepting the fact that it's like, oh, hey, you're much better from here, like a given area, than you are from this area.
Yep.
And I still think some of these guys are like, I'm not doing that. I'm playing my, and it's a matter of it's a small thing, but I think over the course of 82 games, if you're getting him 2 less touches per game at the break and 2 more touches a game at the elbow, it makes a big difference for this offense that's going to need to grind out every point.
And clearly, if the coaching staff recognizes that, they're going to do it because they they played the double big lineup.
Yes.
And I know you said it didn't quite fail. It didn't look good. And this was still against the Utah Jazz. And then they immediately went to 80 at the 5. I think it was flag PJ or it was flag Najee, and then some combination of like one guard and then possibly Clay. And they immediately went on like a 13-0 run.
Yep.
And then when they came back from halftime, they said, Derek Lively, you'll be coming off the bench. It was 80 starting at the 5 and flag Najee, Max Christie, Ryan Nembhard. That was the starting 5 coming into the third quarter. So,
yeah, I mean, I am curious just to see, because Josh was telling me, and I just missed these pregame quotes from Kidd about how that they weren't very happy with like the shot balance, and so they're going to shoot more threes. And like that's not the answer. Like the answer is with this team, and I think they know this. The answer with this team is get to the foul line, play a reasonably effective offense if you can find it, and then defend so well that it ultimately doesn't matter. And that was the problem against the Hornets is they just collectively, I mean, Anthony Davis got the butt of most of our ire, but they collectively didn't do a good job from anywhere. You just can't, if your calling card is defense, you have to play defense. It's it shouldn't be that straightforward, but here we are.
Yeah, and then like restricting their shot diet like that is very funny because what happened immediately after was Cooper Flag came out here and took a bunch of off the dribble threes that clanked and had to kind of completely abandon like the midi pull-ups that he was hitting with some consistency in the Hornets game. And it's like, okay, well, now you're hindering the best player you have in the future to try and like make up for the fact that you have this dude who wants to play near the perimeter or on the perimeter who cannot shoot. And you didn't do, well, not you, Nico, as I'm sure Kid would be glad to tell you now, Nico did not do enough to surround that guy and Cooper Flag with shooters who would be able to mitigate the fact that they're not really 3-point threats.
Right.
So
funny.
Yeah. It's funny. Just going to the threes, dunks, and free throws offense that didn't really help because it was just a bunch of Max Christie breaks. And which, by the way, I'm already at the point where like, look, when it's time to make a deal, like I prefer Caleb Martin getting up out of here first. I prefer Jaden Hardy get up out of here first. But that kid, that's a nothing.
I just like how sick. I just like how sick of certain players various fans already are. It's been I guess I just wasn't ready for that. Like the Jaden Hardy ire on my timeline tonight was like,
oh no, everybody's done with him.
Inject this man into space.
Everyone is done with him. Even the people that I know who are like Hardy high, they don't even come out and talk about it outside of DMs anymore. They know it's done.
Well, I agree with this in the chat. Velveteen Vision says Max is going to be fine with a good point guard. Like I agree with that. Like they've been asking Max to do some creation, and if he's attacking from anywhere other than the corner, it becomes a like, how hard can I shoot this thing off the backboard routine? Like I don't really know.
Here's the thing: he was missing from the corner too.
Yeah,
like you weren't even.
Everyone
doing
was missing though. They were 6 of 34 from 3 at one point.
Yeah, but they were hitting shots in the last game, and he couldn't hit any then either.
Yeah.
If it wasn't at the rim, it was a break. Like I tweeted out like we've already kind of decided where we need to be with him as far as like whether or not he gets to think on the court. Max Christie, you don't get to think. You shoot when you catch the ball. You drive and dunk the ball when you catch the ball. Otherwise, you are passing the ball and you are standing in the corner. That's kind of your job. You can cut, right? Because he's got decent instincts as a cutter along the baseline. You can do that. But otherwise, if you cut and you don't get the ball, you run to that other corner and you stand there. That is your job.
That's really funny. Well, what else you got? Anything else?
So one thing I wanted to point out that I think is kind of becoming more apparent as we watch these games. Like, obviously, I want to see more. But so, as much as I love the Cooper Flag PJ combo, because I do think it's legitimately great on both ends, especially on defense, I think there is this thought out there that, yeah, it's Cooper and PJ, and they are interchangeable at the 3 and 4 next to whatever center. They are not. PJ Washington is a power forward. He doesn't need to be out there doing all that dribbling.
Okay.
He doesn't need to be doing all that dribbling. Not right now. Not with the way things are with this team. Not with the lack of space that we have. Maybe when things open up a bit more, and we can kind of get him back to, like, instead of driving and attacking closeouts from the corner, he's doing it from the wing, and he's still going point A to point B and then just making a simple play there. He can do that, but bringing the ball up, running the offense as a ball handler, we don't need him initiating. We're not there yet.
Fair enough. I think that's fair. All right. Well, I'm going to bring on everybody's favorite south of the equator guest, Mr. Green.
Yeah.
I want to know what he's going to say, because it's like there's no way in hell he's watching these games. That's like, if he is,
Absolutely
I have like real questions. Like if you're European watching a game, I have questions for you too. It's like when Sudar Shan, our colleague at Mavs Moneyball, he's like, well, I wake up at this time to watch this game. I'm like, I really like this team. I don't know if I can do that shit. Like these
last year, I'm not watching any of the back half of the season. Ever. Yes, but yeah, definitely not now.
All right, we'll talk soon. Okay, man.
All right, brother. Peace.
Bye. Mr. Green, what's up, man?
You think I've got anything better to do at 9 a.m. in the morning, Kirk?
I would hope. I mean, well, there was some rock fight basketball. Like I really enjoy watching some Euroball and some of the what does Australia call their professional basketball league?
NBL.
The NBL. I've watched some NBL games, and like it's stylistically sometimes it can get pretty ugly. And that's fine, because I think when you're exploiting certain matchup weakness, it's just like what the Mavericks did today was like just come out and say, we're going to hit you with a hammer until you give up. And that's sort of what happened in the first half.
Yeah. Look, I just wanted to get on here and defend my mate Jaden Hardy. Look, he has got one elite skill, and that's catch and shoot 3-point shooting, right? And I've been banging on about this for years. It's just that he's just got that Tim Hardaway disease, 2 dribbles and it's going anywhere.
Sure.
But man, he is an elite shooter, and this team just hasn't been able to put him in a position where he can float around in the corners and get open shots. But that's neither here nor there.
Well, then I don't think they're going to get them for him. It's just there's no space. Like in the first play of the game, I kid you not, man. The first play of the game, if you go rewind it, there are 4 defenders near Cooper and AD. And everyone else, they just don't care, including Klay Thompson. There's like, fine, we're going to sell out to beat these two. And I just wonder how that's going to translate.
I did see some triple teams on Davis, which worries me because he's got to earn my trust with the ball, passing out of double and triple teams, and haven't seen a lot of it, so we'll see how we go. But I did learn something interesting. I am watching the games, Kirk. There wasn't much point commenting on the last game against the Hornets. I was like, is Kirk doing a fucking after show? What
I did, and Brian was angry at Anthony Davis. Is great, and it's been a couple of days straight of folks being like, it's Anthony. It's a good time. I love basketball.
It was a horrible watch. It really was. But today was a little bit better. The defense started to click into gear, which was nice to see. And one thing that had me really worried watching that Hornets game, I thought to myself, am I going to watch a season of Anthony Davis working around 25 feet away from the basket? That really started to stress me out, because I'd say that, I think you and Josh covered it, like where he catches the ball is going to be so important for us this year. And you said it exactly right. If he gets it at the elbow, 18 foot, and takes one quick move and a spin, he's laying it into the basket, and we just need to put him in a position to do that. It was interesting to see Cooper's comments that how he can help AD a bit more and work off AD a bit more. But I don't think Cooper's going to be taken as that much of a threat to be able to create.
Right. It's not about Cooper. It's about where Anthony Davis starts. Davis wants the ball out there. And that's the part that pisses me off.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis is a interesting character in that he is so good, or was generationally good on one side of the floor and became pretty dang good on the other side of the floor.
Yeah.
And I think that like the desire to be even better on offense has sort of gotten in the way of what his main thing is, where he's never going to be a team's offensive engine. He's just not. And I think the sooner everyone realizes that and they go to a more egalitarian approach, the better the Mavericks will be. I mean, it's the simplest path for me, at least.
Yeah. Look, I agree 100%. With that, because I don't want to see the main part of the offense is to try and get AD the ball at the top of the key. You know, that doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense to me. That's Lively's role. He's proven that he can make plays from there and do some good passing from there. He needs to be that guy, and Davis just needs to work from the key way down, you know, from the foul line down, and I think it'll be a lot better. But it's good to see how bouncy Thompson is without being able to hit a shot. You know, he's like the Elastic Man. He comes out like a rubber ball, and man, he's just been bricking it. It's not looked good off his fingers, but it's the preseason.
His numbers are funny though, where it's just like he has these stretches, and I went and looked at his game log last year because I'm like, how in the hell did he hit 39% of threes? And then you watch basically every 7th or 8th game, he goes like 7 for 10 from 3, and then has 2 or 3 games where he's 4 of 10. And then has like 4 games where he's 1 of 7, and you're like, "What? Like, who is this?" And it ends up working out in his favor. I mean, they're gonna have to get threes from somewhere, and I just don't know. It's gonna be ugly at times, I think, is the answer.
I mean, he did do it a fair bit last year, but I've noticed in some of these preseason games in these starting lineups, he is taking it to the basket a lot more and trying a little floater or in between shot, because surely Kid's telling him, just get the fucking ball out of your hand, because there's a good chance we'll get the offensive rebound, but we're not getting a lot of offensive rebounds. But, you know, hopefully that'll improve. But Coop looks good, man. I'm not worried about his shooting numbers. The fact that he's willing to miss is a good sign, in my opinion. I looked at it and I went, what? D'Lo's out? I was rubbing my eyes looking at the starting lineup. I'm going, they're not going to do this, are they? And
I laughed. It's great.
Well, and it did, you know, as you said, it didn't fail, but it's not like it fucking worked, you know. But if you're gonna put pressure on the kid, mate, do it now and just see what happens. I mean, we all know what Kid did with Giannis, you know, point Giannis, and eventually I feel like Coop will be in a similar role. He'll take the rebound down, and if he sees an inch, he'll take a mile. So overall, I was pretty happy with today's game. The most important thing I learnt today in the second half of this game, when I was folding laundry, is that my missus has a pair of pajamas with the faces of my cats and dogs and cow on there.
And so cow. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I noticed there was a severe lack of chickens on the pajamas, but hey, you learn something new every day when you watch the Mavs, Kirk.
That's right. I'm on day. I was
desperate to get to share it with you.
I like this. You know, I'll share with you here. I'm on day 6 of my wife being gone. She had told me, she's like, I'm going to go on this girls trip, and I'm going to be gone 4 days. Now, what she meant was she's going to be gone 4 nights. And she didn't tell me about the whole day before, where she leaves like 6 a.m. and then gets back on the 6th day at like 9 p.m. So it's like I'm pretty good at keeping our children alive. I'm actually quite good at it, seeing as they're both still alive. But I am losing the battle against them, and I need backup. I feel like Luka in 2021 against the Clippers. Just need someone else to hit a shot, and I can make it on to the next round. But it's not. You're just
looking for your Trey Burke, aren't you, mate?
No, that you're the second person who's made a Trey Burke comment to me today. It's like everyone knows my trigger points. All right, man. I hope to see you at some point. I'm not, like I told Josh, I don't know if we're gonna do the show after the Lakers game because I don't know if anybody of interest is gonna play. But obviously after the Spurs game on night one, we definitely will. So
well, after that Lakers game, you should be declaring a mental health substitute. You're not going to do a show for your mental health. It'll be good for your mental health to not do one.
Oh, it's just, I was excited to talk basketball again, and it's good for me to get into these habits because if I do the habit, then the people who like to talk show up. If I don't do it, nobody comes. Like we used to have if you're listening to the show, we used to have more people that pop through here, but it's just, I stopped doing that because everything got damn sad. So we'll see. All right. Thanks so much. Talk to you.
Good to see you.
You too.
Cheers.
All right. Kirk Henderson, Pod, Maverick. What is this? Mavs Party. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We will talk to you guys a little later in the week. Go Mavs.